So I have some more VGC18 today, and before I start the video, I just want to say that unfortunately, I mean this disappoints me, but there's going to be some battles I'll never be able to upload because I had some really good battles in these last couple of days. One in particular I really enjoyed, but there's some little bitches out there who what they do is they turn their DS off before the match is over because they know they've lost, and when there's a connection interruption I still get the win, I still get the points, but I can't save the battle. So it's a really bitch tactic, and whoever does it is a bitch, to be honest. Otherwise I'm going to be sticking with some more shorter clips today because my longer battles they're fun, but they take ages to record, and I mean I want to empty out my verse recorder a bit, so I'm going to be uploading. I'm going to be showing 3 different battles today, 3 very short battles. I'm going to be sticking with some more like American players. I know this guy was American, meme guy. He was somewhere in the top 20 in the US, or just I think top 30. But these Japanese players, man, oh my god, they're doing my head in lately. They've been, all of them, like the last 5 I've versed, I've been using level 1 Togi, the Maru thingies. They're doing my head in. Anyway, meme guy up in here, love the name. He's gonna go ahead and lead out with his Katana Landorus. I'm gonna go ahead and lead out with Metagross and Lele. I kinda felt like he would lead with Landorus, so I decided to not lead with my Landorus. I kept my Landorus in the back, and I was thinking if he leads with his, I'll just pull in mine later. I assumed he would lead with these two because Katana does have Tailwind, believe it or not. And yeah, Landorus just gets Intimidate. Intimidate ain't going to do anything to my Metagross because of the clear body. And I just wanted to get the terrain in here just cause. So I'm going to go ahead and do as I said, put Landorus in. I'm going to get a nice attack drop on both of them. And no one on my side has suffered any attack drops. I'm just going to go ahead and Ice Punch Landorus because I don't see a need to over predict. And this guy, I honestly expected him to predict something or play a bit differently, but he didn't. He just kind of lets the Ice Punch happen, and I pretty much get a free kill on the Landorus on the first turn, so it's a nice KO for me. Katanas have this really cool gimmick which I was expecting him to do on this turn. He doesn't. He goes for the knockoff on my Metagross, and I'm just going to assume he didn't think it was Mega, because I do fool a lot of people when in team preview I have Metagross and Charizard, and a lot of people think Charizard's the Mega and Metagross is just Metagross. So I mean, I guess he didn't realize it was going to be a Mega, but I mean that's how I guess how I play mind games with people. This turn I predicted Metagross to be targeted by the Coco, so I protect it whilst I also go for an Earthquake, so I don't want it taking an Earthquake. And this turn he does go for the Tailwind, but it's not what I thought, because the Z move Tailwind is such a cool tactic. When you Z move Tailwind with Katana, you get the Tailwind off, but you also put your crit rate up, so it's like a focus energy. And once your crit rate is up, you can just like Leaf Blade everything, for example, and it will just always be a crit. So he just goes for a standard Tailwind, which is unfortunate, but I do get off the Earthquake, I kill the Coco, and Katana takes huge amount of damage being a crit, so I'll take that. I mean I apologize in advance because I mean it sucks, but at this point I think I won the game because he's got 2 Pokemon left, and this was definitely one of my older battles. This was like my 3rd battle, my verse recorder, and at the time I was still learning my team, and I was just really excited, and I was starting to like learn how everything works. So I bring in the Tapu Lele here because I know Kangaskhan came a bit obsolete now. It can't really use priority moves, Fake Out, Sucker Punch, Power Punch is not a move trio anymore. So the terrain comes in here, and his Kangaskhan, I'm thinking, well, if he wants to Fake Out he can't, if he wants to Sucker Punch he can't, if you want a double edge you're not going to do anything to Metagross. So he does go for the Sucker Punch. Unfortunately my terrain is up, and now he does go for the Leaf Blade, which makes me think maybe he was a Z Crystal. I'm not too sure why he didn't bust it out. Anyway, I go for the Zen Headbutt and I do miss the Kangaskhan. So this turn I'm thinking, alright, well, I'm going to protect Lele because I know it's going to get hit by a Smart Strike or whatever it is these things have, the Steel type move, yeah, Smart Strike. And I'm just going to go for the Zen Headbutt again on Kangaskhan. There's nothing he can really do to me. I mean, he has the Tailwind up, but he's not going to double edge the Metagross. So I go for the Zen Headbutt and I get the kill. Anyway, it was another crit, but I'm pretty sure in Psychic Terrain, if that thing was 252 attack speed, I'm pretty sure it would have killed. Anyway, he goes and forfeits, so yeah, that was that battle out of the way. I mean, it was okay. It was a decent battle, I guess. My next opponent, Flacco, he brings an interesting team. I haven't versed this Blast Cephalon yet. I wasn't too sure what they do. So I wasn't too sure how to approach this guy. I did see Electivire in there, Electivire, whatever they're called. And I was just like, oh, okay. Definitely not seen one of those. He brings out Garchomp and Finny. And I bring out Zapdos and Lele because I thought, well, I'm going to have to bring some terrain. Because I know he's bringing his terrain. His terrain goes before mine. And I didn't think Lele's were slower than Finny's. So I get the feeling it's a Scarf. Correct me if I'm wrong. Because I'm pretty sure Lele's faster. And this was back when I was running Psychic Seed. This was an old battle. So I'm going to go ahead and lead out with Lele so that the Psychic Seed can come into play. He gets the Moon Blast on me. It's not going to do too much. And I do avoid the Rock Slide with Lele, which is nice. But back then, not having Citrus kind of sucked because that just meant I had to go for the Roost every time. So I go for the Psychic on the Finny because I guess I just wanted to get rid of that thing. It's going to be a one-hit KO because bloody Psychic is powerful. I'm just going to assume that thing was Scarfed. I don't even remember. So Zapdos is going to go ahead and miss a go because Rock Slide's a bitch. This Lady Gaga looking thing comes in. And I'm just like, okay, well, Finny, you're going to have to get out because I can use your Flare for that Garchomp. I'm going to bring Landorus in. I was just assuming that I can probably take something it has. And I assumed that Garchomp's going to go for a Rock Slide. And this thing is going to go for the Lele. But he actually just targets the Zapdos, which I didn't expect. But lucky for me, Psychic Seed actually did come in clutch there. I generally thought it was going to die, but it lived on 6 HP. Garchomp, Z-move Garchomp. That's interesting. But unfortunately for him, he went for the ground Z-move, and Landorus came in. So that turn was just hilarious. It was just like Z-moves getting ready, but I did nothing. So I got the Tailwind up. I'm quite happy. Blacephalon uses Protect, Garchomp uses Protect. I mean, okay, I guess. I think he's stalling a turn of Tailwind. I just went for the knockoff because I just assumed that this thing had a Sash or something. I don't know, it looks frail. But I get off a Roost, so I guess I still keep that Psychic Seed. So I'm still at +1 special defense. So this turn, I'm just going to go for an Earthquake and just start attacking. And I think I do go for the HP Ice towards the Garchomp. So here I'm like, alright, I'm just going to go for Earthquake. Blacephalon switches out. Fucking this MVP Electivire, man. It comes in on this Earthquake. And watch what it does, man. Watch this play of the game right here. It dies. It dies, basically. So, yeah. Probably shouldn't bring one of those to VGC. I don't know what they do, but I just recommend you don't. Just don't do it, okay? As easy as that. So I'm just going to go for the HP Ice and kill that thing. And at this point, he's just got the Blacephalon left. And I'm just like, well, I'm just going to double into it and win, really. Like, what else is there? So, just going to knock off T-Bolt, whatever. Just get the kill on it. It goes for the Protect. I don't know why people do this, man. Like, what is the need? What is the actual point? You're just wasting a turn. Oh wait, I think I actually knew he was going to do that. Yeah, I knew he was going to Protect, so I roosted. I actually predicted the Protect. I've seen it happen so many times. I've seen so many people do it. It's just obvious. It's like, oh, I'm going to die, so I'm going to do that. So apparently this thing's fast, and he does get off a HP Ice, but it's no problem, because I am going to win. So I did go for the knockoff. Turns out I did have a Sash, but I learned something here and then. I never used knockoff in VGC18, but I generally thought you can knock off a Sash. Apparently you can't, so just keep that in mind for anyone who didn't actually know that. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and win that battle. So another one bites the dust, you know. On to my final opponent, Luisma, some guy who had a very similar team to me. Had Tyranitar instead of the Charizard. Can't remember his other one. Anyway, I saw his team. I knew I'm bringing Aegislash. I didn't know to bring Landorus or Lele. But then I thought to myself, because I need that terrain. But then I thought to myself, wait a second. Why don't I just use his own Pokemon against him? So I deliberately did not bring the Lele knowing he would bring the Lele. And I only needed Lele for the terrain. That's the only reason I wanted it. So I go ahead and bring Aegislash Zapdos out. He brings Zapdos Lele. And the reason I chose this video in particular to my last video with Flacco, this is my current up-to-date Zapdos. This is Citrus Berry Zapdos. But he's using my old Zapdos. He's using Psychic Seed Zapdos. So his Zapdos does have the +1 special defense boost. And I know Lele probably is not going to stay in. It probably wants to like get the hell out seeing my Aegislash. So me already predicting Zapdos to be a problem, I go for a T-Bolt. Now honestly I don't think I'd be faster, but it's not an issue. He does get off the Tailwind, but I decided to just go for the Z move on the Zapdos, because I mean it's been a while, because the gap between this battle and the last battle, it was at least a good few weeks. So I can't remember how bulky these things are. So I'm just trying to get off as much damage as I can on that Zapdos. I'm not too sure if what happens next matters. I guess I'll do a calc, put it on the screen. But long story short, I go for the Z move and I do get a crit. So I do actually kill this Zapdos, which is fantastic. But I actually don't know if it mattered or not. I know if it wasn't at +1, that would have killed it. But being at +1, I guess I'll show a calc or something, because at this point I have no idea. He brings in Metagross, and I know that thing has Tailwind, so well, I know his team currently has the Tailwind, so I'm just like, okay, well, I know Aegislash is looking good, because his last 3 Pokemon are Metagross, Tyranitar, Lele. I didn't have to bring my Lele, which is amazing, because I only needed to terrain really. I just needed to make sure if I needed Zen Headbutt it was there, and Psychic and that, this and that. And I do have the Landorus in case I need to intimidate this Tyranitar and Metagross. He just straight up goes for my Zapdos, which is going to live pretty well and get that Citrus back up. And Tyranitar comes in with a Crunch. Okay, I didn't think he would target the Aegislash. I generally thought he was going to double the Zapdos. But he targets the Aegislash and puts himself at -2. So I'm like, congratulations, you outplayed yourself. I get up the Tailwind. I mean, it's not too late because his one's about to run out. He goes for Stomping Tantrum, which is going to do over half. And I go for the Heat Wave, trying to get some damage off. I do miss the Tyranitar, but I do hit the Metagross. It's not going to be that much damage. And funny enough, after Tailwind, my Aegislash is actually faster than the Tyranitar, which is cool. He decided to keep the Tyranitar in, goes for a Rock Slide. And -2, it just about doesn't kill the Zapdos, but because of the sand, I'm going to die anyway. Aegislash, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, I do run very minimal speed. That remaining 4 EVs that people dump into special defense, I dump into speed. And I just keep his speed IVs at 31. Because in Tailwind it does actually outspeed a bunch of things. So I know this turn I'm going to be faster than Tyranitar. So I put in Landorus this turn just to get another Intimidate. And I know the Ice Punch is coming, so I double switch into Metagross. And I take the Ice Punch like it's nothing. I go for the Shadow Ball, so I know that I'm outspeed the Tyranitar. And considering the Tyranitar is at -3 at this point, like abysmal attack, I know it's not going to do much. This guy pulls out the Flamethrower though, and I didn't see that coming. I was like, why is he running a special attack? So congrats on this guy, bring the Flamethrower. His Tailwind's going to go ahead and run out, which is perfect because mine's still in play. And I'm going to bring in my last Pokemon, which is Landorus. So he brings in the Lele, and at this point I'm thinking, alright, so it's game, right? I'm just going to Iron Head the Lele and Superpower the Tyranitar. His faster Pokemon's the Lele, my faster is Metagross. Unfortunately for him, there's just no way he can win this. Both my Pokemon are Jolly, both of them have Tailwind, so it's pretty much game to me. I was running Iron Head back then, this was like a week ago, but I've got rid of Iron Head now because there's not been many opportunities where I actually needed it. So I've replaced Iron Head with Stomping Tantrum, as you saw in this battle. So Stomping Tantrum, Zen Headbutt, Ice Punch. And honestly, it's a good move. Like, there's very few times I need Iron Head, and majority of the time I need an extra ground move, because it just works, alright? So anyway, that'll be today's upload. Thank you lot for watching, and I'll catch you lot in the next one.